Hey everyone, Luther here from Luther's Woodworking. We are on part 7 of the series of videos I'm doing to make this large wooden toy train. If you have not visited my part 1, go to there because that'll explain to you how you do this loop on the end of the block and all the holes and the depths and this cover plate and all that stuff to make the wheelbase. All the wheelbases are pretty much the same except for the length. And for this video, we're going to be making a stake car. This car right here, just got a couple stakes on it. I got 12 stakes on it. Pretty simple. I already got my wheelbase made. This is a 7-inch wheelbase, so you're going to need to make a 7-inch wheelbase. The only thing different with this wheelbase, because like I said, all the wheelbases are the same, except for the length. The hole location on this wheelbase, you're going to see on my other videos that I did, the hole location was 1 1/8 in. This is 1.5 inches, I believe, in from my, let me just double check here, but I believe it's actually 1.25 inches. This is going to be 1.25 inches in rather than 1 1/8, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. But I already got my wheelbase made. And I got a template here that I use to put all these different holes in. Here's a sample of the wheelbase of how it looks. And it's got all the holes in for the stakes to go along the edge. I made a template. This is an 1/8 inch Baltic birch, and I got the holes marked in here, and I'll have a PDF file in my description which you can download and print out. It shows the layout of these stakes. So basically all you got to do is make your wheelbase, and remember 1.25 inches in, and the reason for that, and you can see right here, you don't want, if I went 1 1/8 in, this stake that goes right here would go into the axle hole. You don't want that. So actually all I did was just move the wheels in a little bit further, so when you drill your holes for the stakes, it doesn't interfere with the hole for your axle peg that goes in. So you just want to move your wheels in just a little bit. That's the only thing different with this wheelbase. So once you print out your PDF form and make yourself a template with all the holes in, basically you're just going to lay that template on your wheelbase, and you're going to mark your holes. We'll do that. There's 12 stakes that go on this car. Okay, so we have our holes marked right here, and what I like to do is take an awl and just tap in a little guide hole for my drill bit to start. Okay, once you got your holes marked in the top of your wheelbase, these actual stakes that go on the side, these are 3/8 dowels, and you'll need, like I said, you'll need 12 of them. Now, what I like to do, the holes in this wheelbase, these are going to be 25/64 inch. And the reason for that is this is a 3/8 dowel that's going to go in that hole. But if you just drill a 3/8 hole in here, it's kind of tight and it doesn't really leave much room. You can see right here this gauge I use. You can see it doesn't leave much room for glue. So if you just drill a 3/8 hole to put a 3/8 dowel in, it's going to be kind of snug and tight, so it's not going to leave much room for glue. So what I do is I go up one size bigger, 25/64, and drill a hole. But with that said, what I do first is I drill a 3/8 hole in here. And I'll explain why once we get to the drill press. But I drill a hole the depth I need it, but I use a 3/8 Forstner bit to do that. And then after I get the 3/8 holes drilled in there, I'm going to go back with this 25/64 bit and run down and just make them just a little bit bigger to put this dowel in. And I'll explain a little bit more on that once we get to the drill press. So let me get things set up, and we'll head over to the drill press, and we'll drill these holes. All right, so here we are at the drill press. Now, I have a 3/8 drill bit in here, and like I said, we're going to put 3/8 dowels in there. But first, we're going to drill out the holes with a 3/8 Forstner bit. And let me I need to grab a little shim right here to put under, because you got to think too, you got this cover plate on the bottom right here, and if you go to set this on here to drill your hole, it's not going to be level, so you got to put another 1/8 inch piece underneath here to make that level. So I'm going to grab that, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so I got a little 1/8 inch shim here we're going to put underneath here to drill these holes so it sits level. And also, you want to set your depth so it goes in at least halfway through. It doesn't have to go in really far, but you want your stakes to come in a pretty good distance in. So once you get that set, now I have a setup block here with the holes already drilled, and all I did was just take it and I went like this, and then I set my drill press, and I already got it set to the depth it's going to go. If you don't have one of these, you're going to need to make one of these, or you're going to need to get your depth just right on this. So what we'll do is we'll just drill a couple of these holes, and I'll show you what I mean by drill your 1/8 with your Forstner bit first. Okay, so I got all my holes drilled in here with a 3/8 Forstner bit. And remember what I said was you're going to put a 3/8 dowel in there for your stakes. Here are the 3/8 dowels that we're going to stick in there. If you just drill a 3/8 hole in there and not bigger, it's going to be, this don't fit in there too bad. Actually, it's not really that bad, really. We could go with just that. I didn't think it was going to work for some reason, but I think it's going to be okay. Maybe we'll just go with a 3/8 hole here for some reason. Maybe it's just a dowel that I got. Every dowel is a little different. Let me just grab another one just to see if it's going to be a little tight. I got a couple of these dowels right here. Some might fit in a little tighter. It'll depend on the dowel. For some reason, these are fitting really nice, so you could go with a 3/8 hole for a 3/8 dowel. You're just going to have to check that out as you do this, because it depends on where you buy your dowels from and all that. One 3/8 dowel may not fit in there, it may be really tight. So you may either have to sand the dowel down or maybe drill another hole that's a little bit bigger. So I think on this block right here, we're going to go with the 3/8 hole. It looks like it's enough to get some glue in there and work pretty nice. So we're going to head back over to the workbench and finish this car up. Alright, so we're back at the workbench here. So just so you don't get confused, we're putting 3/8 dowels in here. And I use a 3/8 Forstner bit to drill these holes. If for some reason your dowels fit tight, you can always go a size bigger in the hole. I just want to make sure that your hole is not really tight in there and doesn't give you much room for glue. But in this case, it worked out pretty good. And another reason why the wheels are in a little bit further, because you can see the hole is right there, and the wheel axle goes right there. You don't want this axle to be right in front. This stake right here, you don't want it in line with that axle of the wheel, because it's going to run into problems when you go to put your axles in. So just make sure that. So the next thing we got to do for this car, we just got to glue these dowels in. And I'll have, like I said, I'll have a PDF form with this on it. These dowels are 4 inches long. It's not a real critical measurement. If you want them longer or taller, you can, or if you want them shorter, it don't matter. So we'll just stick some glue in here and glue some of these dowels in here. Now I sanded one end of these dowels so it's smooth. The other end doesn't matter. I sanded one end of these dowels right here. Now I didn't show you. I just remembered I didn't show you actually cutting these dowels. But I cut these dowels on the bandsaw. I just took a 3/8 dowel like this here, set my bandsaw at 4 inches, and just cut a bunch of dowels. We don't want to do that. I want to put the right end of dowel we'll do the same thing over here. Alright, so if you want, you can turn these dowels a little bit, get that glue so it sticks really nice. And once them are all in, that'll dry up really nice. The only thing left is to put the wheels on. And I see that I only have 3 wheels here. And if you see any glue squeezing out, make sure you get that cleaned up. Check your wheels for turning. Let me go get another wheel and we'll be right back. Alright, got another wheel here. Finish this thing up. Alright, the wheels are in. Every once in a while, give it a spin. Make sure that they turn. But basically, this is the stake car that I designed for the large train. Now, you can modify this, do things different if you want. This is what I came up with. But that's pretty much it for the stake car. I will have a PDF with all the measurements on. And I know I was going to show you cutting these stakes on the bandsaw, but I forgot. But it's basically, they're 4 inches long. Just cut them on. Just take your dowel and just cut 4-inch pieces, and you got yourself a stake car. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget. Don't forget the little pin in the back here for the next loop to hook on. And that'll take care of your stake car. So, with that said, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications because I do have more videos coming. We have a few more cars to go. I'm just kind of making these cars up as I go. So my original plan was to have 10 cars. I think I got more than 10 now because I've been kind of just making them up as I go. So we'll see what we end up with. But here's another car for your long train. So we'll see you in the next video.